Hello, my name is Richard Bascom with Constellation Web Solutions. I'm doing a video here to go through some of the administrative features that are available to the agents at O'Connor and Mooney. Specifically, we're going to talk about ways that you can embellish your personal website and your profile page by adding additional pages to your site and then optimizing those pages to improve how they appear in the search engines. So to begin, you simply go to the main homepage of O'Connor and Mooney, scroll down to the very bottom of the website, and click on the link that says Agent Dashboard. When you click that, it's going to bring you to a login screen where you will enter your agent MLS ID and your password. If you've already logged in and changed your password, then obviously that's what you'll need to enter. If you have not changed your password, then by default, your password is the word password, all in lowercase letters, followed by the number one. So PASSWORD and the number one. And then that'll be your password until you've logged in. Once you've logged in, you'll be taken to your administrative dashboard that looks like this. And underneath profiles, you'll have an option to change your password, where you can then enter your current password. If you haven't changed it yet, once more, that's the word password followed by the number one, and then enter whatever you want for your new password, numbers and letters. You can use uppercase, lowercase, or what have you. Just make sure that you remember exactly what you type in. It is case sensitive, and you'll need to enter it in this field and then again confirm it in this. And when you're ready, click change password, and whatever you've entered will obviously be your password. So from your main dashboard, if you want to start adding new pages to your website, you can do it one of two ways. You can either click the content link and click Agent Content Pages, or if you're in the agent maintenance area, which is where you administer your profile, you can scroll down to toward the bottom of the page and you can click the link here that says to add custom pages. In either case, both links, both under content and where I just clicked, is going to bring you to this screen. And when you're ready to add a new page, you simply click add a new page. And it's going to take you to this screen where you can create the foundation for that new page. Now, this is really very simple. You give the page a title, whatever you want it to be. Let's say we're going to call this one Top Lister. And then in the fields that you see below, this is for search engine optimization. These are meta tag information that's going to be included in the page to help the search engines recognize the page and index it in the hopes that you'll be able to start showing up when people do Google searches. So in the meta title and the meta description, you want to be sure to include the name of the page, like I've done here. And then notice that I've incorporated a keyword, Baltimore real estate, with that title to try to optimize it slightly for people who are looking for agents that list properties when selling Baltimore real estate. And then you'll want to use something that incorporates that page title and then gets a little more descriptive in the description field. And what this does is help tell the search engines what kind of content they're going to find when they go to this page. In addition, this little description appears below the link in the search engines when somebody's doing a Google search for whatever that keyword is. And you'll want to be able to entice the user to click on your link by giving them a good description of the page that they're going to. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to keep it very simple and just use the same title in the description field, but normally you'd want to add some additional information there. Once you've done these things and you're ready to save the page, if you don't want the page to be active, you can click this link here that says "Is page active?" and then it will not be visible on the public side. It won't be visible until you actually click that box. I'm going to leave it checked just so that we can be sure to see the page when we go to the website so I can show you what it looks like. But if you're going to be editing the page over a period of time, leaving it unchecked is not a bad idea. In addition, you can order or place the page in the order you want it to be displayed in your list of additional pages and on your profile by changing the number that you give to the page. So either number 1, and that's going to be the first custom page that's available, or if you've got 4 or 5 pages, you could make it later in that list if you choose 3, 4, or 5, for example. I'm going to leave it at number 1 for now, and I'm going to click Save. And you'll see as soon as you've done that, the page is now added to this little tree of additional pages, this menu of content pages, and now you have the ability to begin adding content. So now click the page, and you'll notice that there's 2 different links you can click on. Edit the page, we'll go there for a second, takes you back to the same screen you were on previously, but it incorporates the content box so you can begin writing content. Notice you also have the ability to edit the meta tags should you decide to, or to make the page active or inactive should you decide to do that. The other option you have is to click View Page. And what this activates is inline editing. And the beauty of inline editing is that it allows you to edit the page while you're viewing what the page looks like. So if you're going to be putting photos, for example, into the body of the page, or videos for that matter, doing inline editing helps to ensure that you don't enter a photo or an image that's too large for the space. If you tried to do that, you're going to see it immediately doesn't fit, and then you can make whatever changes are necessary. So we'll click Edit Content box, and you'll notice that it then brings up the editor so we can begin adding our content. Now, when it comes to writing content, I highly encourage you to begin your writing in Microsoft Word. And in Microsoft Word, you'd want to write whatever the information is that you want to appear on the page. The more information that you write that includes the keywords that you're trying to show up on the search engines for, the better that page is going to be optimized by Google when it comes time to index those pages. So if you want to show up for Baltimore real estate when somebody does a search for that, then having mentions of Baltimore real estate within this content is very important. And so keep that in mind as you're writing this content. The other thing to remember is Google's very smart when it comes to knowing whether you wrote the content or you copied the content from somebody else. And if you copy the content, you're going to get absolutely no benefit for SEO purposes. And while you may be offering buyers good information as part of your website, you're not going to help your cause when it comes time to showing up in the search engines for people searching for those keywords. So I encourage you to write your own content, incorporate keywords within the content, and that'll give you a better chance of getting found on the search engines. Once you've written your content in Microsoft Word, simply highlight the content you want to copy over, as I've done here. Take your mouse to the very end of it. Then you can right-click and click Copy, and then remove the document from the area, go back into your editor, and right-click and paste, and you'll see that the content has been added. Almost virtually exactly to the way that that you entered it. Sometimes you'll see some variations in the way the text is being displayed. That often happens when you copy from Microsoft Word. It's easily fixed. Just click your mouse at the end of this little statement, hit your back button, and then hit enter again, and it cleans it up somewhat. Sometimes you may have to edit and copy and paste that information again, or you may have to change the font style to make it fit more appropriately. And you can do that using the toolbars up here. This one changes the font color. This option changes the actual font, and this option changes the font style. Inherited size is going to use the same font that's found on other pages in the website, and I encourage you to use that font. Now, a couple of other quick things that you can do to make the content look better. If you notice, I've written a little headline over each one of these paragraphs, and if you highlight that and then go to this tool, this little tool in the toolbar where it says paragraph. If you click that and then go down and choose heading 3, it's going to add a nice little bold font and place it in a formatted way to make it look a little more professionally laid out. It also highlights that aspect of the content that you're writing and makes it look a little better than just simply placing text on the page. So it's a nice little tool that you can use to make the page look a little more professional. When it comes to adding images, that's easily done, but there's a couple of important points to remember. The total amount of space that you have to work with here is roughly somewhere in the neighborhood of 560 pixels wide. So anything that you place in terms of an image or a video, you'll need to make sure it's either the same width, 560, and if you make it 560, it's going to go border to border, or less than 560 so that the text on the page can wrap around the other side of the words. When you're ready to add a photo, click this little icon in the toolbar. First, make sure your mouse is in the general area where you want the photo to be. Click this little icon that says photo. It'll open up a window that'll bring up any photos you've already uploaded. If you don't have any photos here, click upload, search on your computer for the photo you want to upload, and then when you select it, it's going to automatically upload, and then you'll see it referenced here. When it is visible here, click the image. So you'll see it gets highlighted like this. And then in the width field, enter the width that you want that image to be. As you recall, we've got a total of 560 pixels in the area, so we don't want the image to be quite that large. We're going to say for this photo, we're going to make it about half the width, so we'll make it 250. You don't have to put a height. The height happens automatically and it stays in proportion with itself. Click Insert, and the image is automatically inserted, but you'll see it's in the middle of the page or not, and the words aren't wrapping around it. So you have one more step to do. Click the image, go back to this little toolbar here and choose Float Image either left or right. If you choose right, the image will float over to the right side of the page and the text will appear to the left of it. If you choose the other option, the image will be on the left side of the page and the text will appear to the right. So in a very short order, you've created a page, you've added some imagery to it to give it a little more interesting look, you've added headlines to make your point stand out and be more clear to the user. If you've written your content well, you've incorporated good keywords that are going to help your page be optimized, and you've added photos to really make it look special. When you're finished, click Save Content Block, and your page is now active and ready. If you go to the More Pages option, you're going to see that it's the first page in that list. And if you choose to, and you want that image or that photo to be higher on the list, you can go back to the Edit Page option and choose the number 1, click Save, and I believe that should put it back into position that it's a little further up on the list of available pages. We'll just check it out real quick. And we'll hit reload. And sometimes you may have to clear your cache a couple of times so that the page actually changes its position a little bit. But that's basically how it's done. So I encourage you to play around with the different types of content that you want to add. I encourage you to add pages that incorporate the keywords that you're trying to optimize for. Be sure that you on the original editing area in the content editor that you incorporate your keywords and your meta titles so that they incorporate important keywords that you may want to show up in the search engines for, and that you also repeat those same keywords in the written content you put in the page. And when you do that, over time, you're going to find that you'll have a much better chance of showing up in the search engines for the keywords that you've optimized. You may not be number one. There's no guarantees that you'll even show up on the first page or two of Google, but the more content you write and the more it incorporates those keywords, the better your chances of getting that kind of positioning in Google and the other search engines will be. It's very simple to do, and I encourage you to start using it if you haven't already. Thank you for joining me for this video. We'll have other videos on other aspects of the administration area. I hope you all have a wonderful day.